Hi everyone, it's Jen from Mind's Eye, and we're going to do the Clearview talk for the week. Tonight is a huge, significant change. Like I said, it's like a huge timeline jump that you just can't understand on how you can walk into work and all of a sudden you're like, here's like 3 years worth of work right dumped into your lap where you can't even understand or go through it whatsoever. So right off the bat, you're just gonna have to do it. Just going to have to do it. So when I actually look at this and I actually say that I can't even understand how things actually played out today and how I have to say is just nothing. There was something about this Seven of Swords that flew out. It literally means that when I look all around DC and I look as like a whole broad view of America, it really is a type of contentment order to walk in and actually be bold and brass and vindictive and start signing nasty executive orders because this the way that the energy is on how many passed away in law enforcement, on how deployments played out, on how serious events actually occurred. And we just can't see it because there is no contentment with this Ten of Cups in reverse. There is this no happiness anywhere. And you have to say we need to have this type of get together and this type of like partnership and this type of marriage as I've been talking about of a business venture of like a community or anything like that, because when you actually go through it, it is like I said, it was going to be this Ace of Wands, this hard beginning that was a hard solvent. So when I see it and I see the Four of Wands in reverse, there is no contentment of like a watch party, how they used to do like mob rule or anything like that. But it's this Two of Swords of this crossroads that's unbeknownst to get the game going. The Ace of Swords in reverse means there's absolutely no logic on how everything plays out in the next 4 to 10 days that I'm hearing and seeing. But it's the Eight of Wands, it's the lack of communication that's going to drive everyone nuts. You're not to know what it is until it's in your face. So when I see the Five of Wands actually go through, it's quite a struggle on trying to dig anything out. It is a type of greed that came in unbeknownst that is hard to allay a THEA, which is an old judicial word and it's a mob word where they go, I just can't even, everyone's like, I just can't even say it. You can say THEA. It means that somebody actually took a contract and like did write out on something that they weren't supposed to. Now, the Ten of Pentacles actually sees it and says it's a loss of inheritance so bad that you actually can't regain it that much. So when I'm looking at simplicity of probate courts, I'm saying completed. There's something missing still in many, many people's lives. So when I look at the Five of Cups in reverse, you can't even understand why it would be a disrupt of a teacup being broken. That's the pop-off. That was the end result. The Queen of Cups is going to come in and is going to say fulfillment from intuition and balance of emotions, sitting intuitively and instinctively to show that the Seven of Wands is nastiness of a fight, of a struggle, of, like it's just an illusion, a delusion here in America of what it's supposed to be, of grandiose thought per se. That is the lack of the victory. That's the Six of Wands in reverse. And that is what actually causes the severe disappointment of tears, of anxiety, sitting up at night. And it had to do with this type of like inhibition of this, like, had to do it in the public, where it's like toxic female energy. And I'm not saying or gender, I'm saying toxic female energy as I'm looking at it. If you're reading auras, it was like white opaque, cloudy, clouded judgment. Nine of Cups in reverse states that there's no getting together to get even the DEA on the same page right now, because you can't finish the Wheel of Fortune. You can't even finish what was going on with Sean Combs and any other celebrity that's having issues right now. That's the pause. Like, literally everything has to be a little bit of a pause right now. And that is when you say, where is the justice? When is the justice actually coming in? And where is the honor of this? That is the King of Wands. Because the Three of Swords says, no, no. That's what hurts the most, right through the heart. But really, it was right through the shoulder blades. So when I see the Six of Swords, it says in reverse, it is contained and contented, but you're going to have to look out east-west. So when I look at it and I hear the Page of Wands come in, I say, no, it's coming from the west, down from the north, and down through the south, but the east is actually open. Why would it be open? I'm sitting there and I'm saying, why is that open? Everything else is coming in towards this way. Nine of Pentacles goes, there's no prudency on that road. No prudency. Knight of Wands, it's going to come in a little bit too fast and harsh, where it slicks up. Watch the roads. It's ice. Seven of Pentacles says, no, it is a cutout and a shutout. So how does that, the inauguration to the issues with the Middle East and Israel, actually boil down to community matters? When I'm looking at it just in my small town, a small farming town, they still want to know why they have to pay taxes on their tractor. They still want to know why the smell in the town hall is still rancid at times. And then they want to know why, like, you can only do so much in a day when it comes to plowing. That is where this new journey starts today with the inauguration. So let's look at other cards. All right. Let's see here. What else do we need to know about the community and universal matters? You can't even. And then I say, you can't even odd. You can't even odd. I mean, I literally look even just how much it changed in 3 years. It was such timeline jumping. It wasn't even funny at times, walking in and saying, who are you to be talking to me like that? So there is this. Now, the Four of Pentacles in reverse means there's a lack of security somewhere. All forms of the meaning and all forms written out of this type of honor. That's the King of Wands again. But really, where is this trickery? That's the Magician in reverse, where you have to say, when the Queen of Swords comes in and says, you're cutting away at wind towards the plane on the horizon to cut away logic. I'm like, it's a thin slice of layer like cheese. So when I see it, you have to say, you actually have to sit quietly and use everything about yourself to understand a little bit of it. So when you actually look at a piece of mail and you see this bill and you're like, I technically don't have to pay that, and I'm not going to pay it. So when I see this too in the King of Cups in reverse, there's something counterintuitive, highly counterintuitive, where they're not even in tune. They can't even carry a tune to the highest degree of a resolve. So one question coming in. So as I see this, is a Mr. William, um, because it's with minors, I'm going to tread lightly with that question. And as what I can see right off the bat, I hear it's not to be known really right now. It is something that is a disrupt. And I know people don't like that because it's the fear of the unknown. But sometimes children also, with that energy or whatever energy has brought that in, is meant to disrupt unbeknownst. It comes out as something that it usually is a like he knew what he was doing when he had other children. He knew what he was doing when he had other children. It is meant to be a mystery. Yeah, that will often happen when other people have had lived out their lives, as I say gently, and you find out that their siblings or their children. And I've had many people around me in my life have that happen. That you it ends up coming out when there's someone being sick or something's going on. The energy is just showing me it was during a time of like disrelief. It's really hard to explain. There was something about like 1956 all the way through 1987 that there was things going on. It seemed dishonorable, but it really wasn't at the same time. The Eight of Cups means there is a walking away, but there's a turning point at a fireside. That like literally this bowl saying at a fireside. It's gonna break up some relationships. It's gonna have a little bit of turmoil when it comes to relief, and it has to do with a contract. Something about a contract in the public. So when you see it and you actually see it, you go, this was like no judgment. Like, how dare you do that? How dare you? And you say, no, he was at a crossroads. At funerals, yeah, everyone's usually sitting and they're like, hi, how are you? And then all of a sudden you get this feeling of, well, where did you come from? It's happened during this time of rest. At rest, that's when a lot of people's stuff is going to come through, seashells. A lot of rest. It's going to destabilize communication for that family a little bit. Like it's just going to be like, nobody can talk to me. Yep. Just talking from personal experience, like literally all of a sudden something happens and all of a sudden like the whole family goes, you cannot talk to me whatsoever. You just have to stay where you are. But boiling that, it's still part of community matters. There's something about this that's like in this deep dive of how crazy the 90s was, how crazy the times were with the Crips and the Bloods and Tupac and Biggie, and how crazy war was in the streets, on what truly happened when you actually talk to everyone who lived through it, especially in the time when we had Ted Kaczynski and everything. All of a sudden, I said, you're just going to sit there and like family comes out of the woodworks. And you're going to say, where'd you come from? And you're like, literally, that's all you can do. That's all you can do. It's definitely going to come into a time of forgiveness. Now, on the split of the deck, like I said, it was like an offering. It was something that was like obstrued and obstructed of like this feeling in the face, like a terrible sinus infection. And when that happened, you couldn't even see it coming whatsoever. That it actually looked like dishonor. I do see 1987, I do see 1956, but I do see 1968. There's something about that. There's something about that. I see a lot of contentment orders. It's disgusting when I hear contentment orders with someone who's like grew up around law enforcement. Contentment orders all of a sudden is like, it's like everyone's a criminal. Everyone is a criminal. Now with this, the Two of Wands, it's literally everyone is looking at how everything is playing out with the inauguration. And it is something that has been foreseen that it would happen if it came back into play. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, it has something to do with nasty, nasty reverse justice. It's ill justice. So when I say ill justice, that means something came through and through, all in all, right through someone physical sense, and they become sour and like they can't see straight, and they go and they do something and then they don't even realize it. That's the insecurity. People wake up and they're like, I didn't even realize what happened whatsoever. So you have to say, were they intoxicated or anything like that? And most of the time they're not. They're really not. It's such a lack of teamwork all of a sudden that you just can't even do it. But when it happens, like when you read the reports, like in the media, and it says a slew of crime happened, you already know. You already know. If you hear slew, it's just you're going to be kind of homebound, and you're going to be kind of sticking around and sticking to yourself and making sure you're the healthiest at best to be around for a few years. It really is worse than a COVID lockdown at times. Law enforcement is literally listening through hard when they hear slew of crimes. It is so greedy when they do slew that you just can't even understand when they knock at your door and like, I'm sorry, but I need to talk to you about something. Are you aware you're a victim? And you don't even know you were a victim. Now, this is something that is slightly guarded, but I'm hearing like heavily guarded, and I'm hearing like a slab of granite, but it's a cement deal. And when you look at it and you say the Page of Swords is really nothing to look into, but in reality, it's a victory, a huge victory when you say it. It's something that was well manifested. So when I hear manifested and I hear that they talked about the incident with United Healthcare in New York recently, and you hear a manifesto, but you're seeing how it was, you have to look at this and like, what was the actual marriage as per business that caused the cement deal to have it? So when I look at it and I say the Three of Swords has a type of disappointment that you couldn't even do it correctly or see it, this is where the toxic feminine energy is that's almost opaque. Like I said, clouded judgment. The Five of Cups looks and goes, no, you can't see it or do it. It is that alleviation of the disappointment to a type of solitude where you need to be by yourself and listen through hard every which way and pay attention. So when you look at it and you're trying to figure something out, that's the Seven of Cups. Just go about it, and you don't always have to be in a part of a celebrate. It has to do with a grading with a T. That is the breaking up of a lot of things coming through in the next 3 to 4 to a 3 to 5. Alrighty, let's look at the Starseed Oracle. Now, there's a lot to be had with the way that he was signing the executive orders, where it was such a large Sharpie to make it bold that the brass actually couldn't even understand at the Pentagon on how contented everything settled down. Just that marker on having it DONE already and into play. Now, despite what you might think and feel, you have to say, what is this birth as a portal and deep love? And it's talking about this. When I'm looking at this, you actually have to look at the ruins of archaeology. It is something of like serving the world and being you, and like having a double mission. Double mission for me, when I'm seeing this, I look at your profession and then I look at everything else. You have to look at how much one person can be, a mother, a spouse, a sister, but then they are a nurse, but then they're out in the community doing something else. It's almost, that's like the mission of getting it done on a cutaway, chiseling away. So when you see surrender to the sweetness, make love to life, there's something that has to be left on the table about that for next week. That's what I'm hearing really hard. It's something about having this physical connection with the community. It's this feeling of too isolated. It's too much of a remembrance be. All right. Let's look at another deck of cards. Kashyap Tarot. All right. Now, the Two of Roses in reverse, the winged messengers. It's saying you're not really going to get the appointment, but you're going to get everything done, a DUN. And DUN literally means you're going to get it like a criminal, but not a criminal. It's going to seem like a criminal. It really is at night, NITE, when everything is kind of like put out. I'm seeing like a 20 resolve. So when I see the Akashic field, you go, the Aurora Borealis couldn't even get it DUN. How criminal was the Aurora Borealis? But that's how crazy it was, is that when you see manifesto and you see all these things line up in like criminal activity reported through the media down to your daily news for the local, that you look at it and you say, it came in at the wrong time, criminal. So when you see it and you look at it and you say, it really is summer up in like a type of Boston that has no like work at it, but I literally can sing along with that. I literally can. I can sing a tune and carry a tune really well. It really is this lookout of a fiery dismay. And you're looking out at Boston Harbor and you had the Tea Party. It's almost a little derogatory. So it really is a close off on the waterworks of a floodgate, but really it's a pipe. And then you look at the architect, and where was the big picture? The biggest picture is something about the community that came through on this dismay. So it had something to do with like a lack of diversity in reverse. I'm sorry to be going fast, but that's how fast this energy is fleeting. In the karmic trench, there's no dig. No dig. You have to literally go and look right through the divine physician. You have to literally go to the doctors and they're like, it's just a sinus infection. They're like, there's more than just a sinus infection. It really, really is. Archangel Raphael, it really is a gone ghost. When you look at it on a gone ghost, you have to say, you gotta be, working with other people. Literally. The imbalance, the gates, the people, how they're walking. You can't even see it. The War of the Roses in reverse. It's not point blank. It's a little diverse. A little diverse. The balancing of energies is so bad. People are, I'm seeing, going through Reiki a lot. Regaining. Views of the ego, you have to look at an oppose of a juxtapose. All right, let's look at the animal spirit oracle. Premonition. Butterfly in reverse, no messengers. There's no messengers. Rabbit, it is looking about and hearing about. Court. Golden egg, missed message, venue. And then the bear, it is something that is literally going around, riding around, ready to rise up. Where when you see the swan, you have to say, D-O-N-E. The panther in reverse is like almost like high school antics. All right. Literary Witches Oracle. This has a lot to come out tonight. A lot. This goes right over to global matters related to what's going on for the week. Just increasing my energy level. That one hurts. This one really, really hurts right at eye level. I am so sorry, everyone. Yep. As is. Threes. 3Bs. 3Bs. I. Cat. Vision. I heard it. I felt it. I saw it. It's true. Turn that energy down. My God. And then you look at it and it was really good at trying to get the gap. But really I had to do something with like the soul yearning over wherever it starts. It comes in, you're like, good thing we did this already. Good thing we did this. It's like, you don't need to be a military genius or anything like that, diplomatic measures, to understand that the intellect, you can just watch and put the dots all together. When I see pond, I actually see the reflection pool. And then when I see it, you just have to go about and just know that it's going to be right there and all around. So when I look at it in rebellion, I really don't see a whole lot of rebellion on that one as far as justice, because justice is like per se being served, but really it isn't. It's all perspective on how you feel justice is played out. Wolf, it is a coming about of coming unbeknownst to becoming of oneself. So when you look at wildflowers, You actually have to look at it as an offering that got taken away. So it a lot of things are happening in the dark. In the dark. All right. One more deck and then we'll go to the runes and then we'll go to the crystal. Lordy, lordy. All right. Passion. Literally, everyone is passionate for the next week about everything that's happening. When I see this father healing, I hear some things come out in many, many people's lives in the community to larger communities, to city, town, and state, that you have to give a little forgiveness on some things that might actually come out. Because when I'm looking at this and I'm seeing galactic core, it's not what you're thinking as it's derogatory. I'm looking at it as when I see galactic core, it's something within us that like heals us, like our natural healing, like our body turns it on so we can get through whatever we're getting through. And when I look at this and I say sacred geometrics, it's something like that all of us, even who are not psychic, when we see it, we already know it. We like process it already. So when I look at it, telepathy, like upon a look, you can look at it and you hear a word and you already know it, and you're fine. You're absolutely fine, because when you see remembrance, you're just gonna go through the day and like when I saw it, I heard it in my own way, and just had to go because it was just done. It was just done. Now, with that being said, let's go to the wood runes. I see runny noses. But it's like this type of trolling that gets us upset, that's going to come about in a week, and it will settle down in like a 3 to 4 ride. And as Rhino actually comes out, it's a type of energy clearing that comes through. It will cause a freeze, which is ice, but it's not ice immigrations. It is this type of like hidden game, but I'm really seeing the word pair. And pair, when I actually look at it as part of business or anything like that, it's a contract unbeknownst to be resolved. So when I look at it and I hear power, it's hard energy of slamming. So when I look at this and I say, this is type of like a wheel of luck, like it's you woke up, you heard it, you felt it, you saw it, and you threw the energy out there and you caught it. It's just like type of warrior that comes out and that you just can't understand. Some of us have had this in the community. It's like in your neighborhood, like they just walk out and it's just slammed and it's done. And it's just DONE. That will understand a little bit more towards the end of the week, where that came from, why we need to know that. All right, lastly, let's look at the crystal quartz, and we'll end it right there. What else do we need to know for Clearview Talk for the rest of the week? All is what they call beknownst to known, meaning you already know how it's going to play out because it's inauguration. You already know how it's going to be. You already know how it's going to see out. But being there and being about and being here is way different than actually experiencing the THE. But really, you have to see it, SEA to BEA to LEA to NEA. Oh. TEO, BEO, NEO, yo. And you have to say, no, I actually think I need to stay put. I don't think I need to be traveling or doing anything major like we had said, I mean, it's bird flu and it's other things that we need to kind of do universal precautions and just do our own thing and be aware that the answers are going to be there when we need to know it. And that's all you need to know. So, with that being said, that's all I have for tonight. Any questions or concerns, go ahead and send me an email, mindseye2112 at Outlook. A like, a comment, a share is greatly appreciated. And if you feel like I did a good job, a donation or a tip would be great too. Really appreciated. But we will talk to you soon, and we will have a good night. I swear to God. All of a sudden, everyone's like throwing energy around here. Something kicked up out here in this small town. Talk to you soon.